Don't overreact too much to week one.
Away we go. It is a... well, yeah, that's true. That's true. One more time, Hunter.
Don't overreact too much to week one.
All right, we'll talk about that in a moment. It's a Monday edition. It is the Victory Monday edition of Mr. Relevant. I'm Alex Strouf. That's JOSHY DiMaggio. I'm not Josh DiMaggio.
I'm Josh DiMaggio.
Hunter already got me going. I'm so ready to rip after the Packers win 27-13 after the Detroit Lions. Will Sommers is here. Hunter Vaughn is, of course, producing the show back at the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Okay, Hunter, go ahead. Play it again.
Don't overreact too much to week one.
Okay, we need to talk about that. So on Friday's show, I kind of tried to give myself ahead of time a lesson in NFL football. And I said for about 5 minutes straight on Friday's show,
don't overreact too much to week one.
However, I would like to go ahead and throw that out the window right this second.
Don't overreact too much to week one.
Disregard everything I said on Friday because we're going to overreact to week one. Now, I was just talking to a couple people out in the hallway from WTMJ and 101.7 The Truth about the game last night and how good the Packers looked and how good the defense looked. And I did say a few times in that conversation, I said,
don't overreact too much to week one.
It's only week one, so I'm trying not to overreact, right? But it's really hard not to overreact given what we saw yesterday in what was not even really a 27-13 win. It was more a 27-6 win.
Let's play a game here.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to make some statements.
Okay.
And you're going to say if it's an overreaction or not.
I really like that idea. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
We're going off top of the head here.
All right, make some statements.
The Green Bay Packers are the overwhelming favorite in the NFC North.
Ooh. Overwhelming is the word I'm hung up on. I think they're definitely the favorite without a doubt, yes.
The Eagles need to worry about the Packers in the NFC.
Not an overreaction.
The Green Bay Packers have the best defense in the NFL.
They very well might.
The Green Bay Packers are going to make an NFC Championship game.
Yes.
The Green Bay Packers have a defense good enough to win a Super Bowl.
100%.
The Green Bay Packers are going to finish in the top 5 in both offense and defense.
That's probably the hardest one you've thrown at me. Defense, I think, is a lock. The offense is the part I'm hung up on.
Micah Parsons is even better than advertised.
Yes, 100%.
Don't
That's actually
overreact
how I
too
wanted
much
to
to
start
week
the show
one.
today. No, but I don't even think that's an overreaction because I think for Hunter, who's a Cowboys fan, and we'll hear from him in a bit on Micah Parsons and the impact that he made for the Packers yesterday, but he was felt instantly.
Yes.
Even when he wasn't on the field, he was felt. And that's the weird part right there is like, you don't get that type of talent on defense. I'm trying to remember the last time the Packers had a player like that.
It was Reggie White.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even think Clay Matthews does it justice. And Clay was really good for a couple of years.
Clay was great. This is different.
And
I described it on Jen Game and Chewy this morning as he's a gravitational force.
I really like that word, but because it felt like that's what you were witnessing when the Packers defense was on the field yesterday against Detroit. And again, I think Detroit's a really good team. I think the coordinator changes are going to affect them, and I think that kind of came into play yesterday. Their offensive line, without a doubt, did downgrade this offseason. They had a couple of retirements. I think they had 3 new starters in the interior of their line. So there was some changes to the Lions' offensive line, but I don't think it's an overreaction to say that Micah Parsons was better than advertised. I just don't. I think he was that important in only 29 snaps yesterday in a game that the Lions offense seriously couldn't do anything until the end of the game. They couldn't do anything.
They were pathetic.
They were as bad as I've seen them in the Dan Campbell era.
And I don't think it was really all that much to do with lack of execution on the Lions' part. I don't think Jared Goff played particularly bad. I think it's very obvious when Jared Goff is under pressure.
Yeah.
He's a massive downgrade to Jared Goff with time to throw the ball and evaluate a defense. But I mean, the Packers didn't do much exotic yesterday.
No.
It was, Jeff Hafley is always going to be exotic with his what coverages he shows and what they end up in, but it's all very basic stuff. It's not some Konami code of like this very complicated defense. It's just good execution, knowing where you're supposed to be in a rather disciplined secondary. I mean, the Jahmyr Gibbs stats about the most catches for the least yards ever. They were just smothered. Every decision they made seemed like it was just ineffectual.
And to call Micah Parsons a gravitational force or gravitational pull, whatever you call them, regardless, it was so visible.
Yes.
Colby Wooden had a career day.
Yes.
Lucas Van Ness looked like a first-round pick.
Sure did.
Rashawn Gary looked really good.
Yep.
Edgerrin Cooper looks like an all-pro.
The Colby Wooden play in specific, where he made that tackle almost a safety, they sent 3 guys to Micah Parsons, leaving Colby Wooden unblocked.
Completely unblocked.
The third guy peeled off to get to the second level. There was multiple times also, and you're going to see more and more of this, where the Packers are going to, and Jeff Hafley are going to force offensive lines to make decisions where they're just going to overload the line the opposite direction of Micah Parsons and beg them to slide the other way.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do. And we saw it in week 1. A guy who was clearly gassed by the end of the game. I don't know why they kept him in there that long, but that's neither here nor there. At this moment. It changed everything about the defense. His presence changed how they wanted to attack, and it changed. I think there's a reasonable argument to be made around, like, they're sort of on the high. Micah Parsons gets announced last. The crowd goes absolutely bonkers, and there is probably an elevation of every player because of that. But to think that those guys aren't going to continue to benefit in the same way, I think would be short-sighted.
Yeah, a sack and 3 quarterback pressures for Micah Parsons in 29 snaps in his Packers debut on Sunday. And it was so evident the impact he made to this defense, who, and we said this prior to the game, but I just want to remind folks, the Packers had a good defense prior to Micah Parsons.
Yep.
It was a good defense. They had a really good year last year in year 1 under Jeff Hafley. Jeff Hafley is a guy who is very much going to get coaching interviews. He did it last season, in fact, had coaching interviews. He's going to get more after this year. And he will likely be a head coach at some point in the National Football League. Well, if all things go really well for the Packers this year, it could very well be next year. So that all being said, Micah Parsons is such an impact player added to an already good defense, and that, voila, is what you got on Sunday against the Detroit Lions. Hunter, go ahead.
Just to add on to how good of a coach Jeff Hafley is, I saw a few people tweet this about how Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins head coach, will be Jeff Hafley's OC for whatever team he ends up becoming a head coach on. Like, that's the level that he's already been talked about, and it's week 1. Like, dude's not going to come back.
Well, and obviously the talk that Mike McDaniel is having is they lose 33-8 to the Indianapolis Colts. The Dolphins do yesterday in their Week 1 matchup. So a ton of stuff I want to get into still. With we'll get to stock up, stock down. We will talk more about this defense. We'll talk about Jordan Love, and I thought he had a better day than some people are seemingly saying. I thought he had a really solid day. Obviously, he avoided disaster a few times. We'll talk about Love's performance as well. But I do want to hear from the Packers' newest addition, Micah Parsons, because I thought this post-game comment was really, really interesting from a guy who we have discovered he has a podcast for a reason. He is fun to listen to. He says a lot of stuff. I like hearing from Micah Parsons. But this comment in particular really caught my ear when he talked about his first game as a Green Bay Packer and how good this team could possibly be. And, well, maybe the team he left not so good. Here's Micah Parsons after the game.
Yeah, I'm just happy, bro. I think it's back to what football is need to be. The trade is done. We got to win. We're 1-0. Now I'm around some really great guys, a really great organization, a really great fan base, and a really great football team. So now we can put all the nonsense beside. I'm healthy. I'm able to get off the field and get ready for another game Thursday night and just keep trying to win games and just be what ball's about.
Yeah, no punches pulled there by Micah Parsons in reference to his former team, the Dallas Cowboys, and obviously his new team, the Green Bay Packers. Now I'm around really good guys. Now I'm around a really good organization. Now I'm around really good fans. We can put all the nonsense behind. And he also throws in there, yeah, I'm healthy to turn around quick. 4 days, I'll play. Yeah, and about that back injury.
The one thing I do want to comment, and I guess I didn't know we were going here, or otherwise I would have told Hunter to have the audio. Micah discussed how things got toxic in Dallas between the two, and I thought it was really mature of him to also implicate himself. That whatever happened in Dallas was not just the fault of Jerry Jones, who I think we can all look at it and say Jerry Jones should take the most part of it. But I think we've all been there, right? When it comes to like real life stuff, sometimes things can get so bad you see a side of yourself that you're not used to. and you think you're better than. And I thought that was a display of, especially with how things have gone in recent history with some of the people in Green Bay that like to talk in front of microphones, taking accountability in that way was impressive.
Yeah, you're definitely not referring to a guy who threw 4 touchdowns in a win yesterday, right?
No, and then took his time to insult everybody instead of
in New York.
Oh, yeah, and then all the haters who said he wouldn't work well with Arthur Smith. He got that comment off, too.
Oh.
Give it time.
Or, I might just throw this out there, Joshy. Is Aaron Rodgers in the MVP conversation after 1 week?
Sure, yeah, I guess.
I'm believing.
So
Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers.
So is Quentin Johnston.
That's true. He did have a great game.
And Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Daniel Jones should probably be the presumptive.
Yeah, you actually might be right. Yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns in their win yesterday.
Day.
Yeah, he had a really good day. Really, 22 for 29, 272 yards, passing touchdown, and 2 rushing touchdowns in their 33-8 win over the
Not that
Dolphins.
anyone cares. I swapped him out in DFS.
I don't care.
I cost myself around 40 points.
I do have one golden rule of radio, Josh.
Yeah.
No one gives a damn about fantasy football.
It's not my fantasy team. It's daily gambling. We all do it. If you don't, you're a loser.
So Micah and this defense look so legitimate, and we led with the comments that Joshy made, but this seriously looks like a defense that could be the best in the league. I'm still a little bit concerned about the cornerbacks, but the good news is, what makes our cornerbacks better? A pass rush.
Getting to the quarterback in a half a second and forcing them to make bad decisions.
Which that line did a lot of to Jared Goff yesterday.
Yeah. I saw people taking their time to try and take out Keyshawn Nixon. You don't know what you're watching if you think Keyshawn Nixon was like a detriment to the team.
No, I didn't think so.
The plays he was close to were not his guys. Those are coverages, and sometimes you play zone, and a guy makes a read and then tries to help to a guy he sees open. It's that simple.
Josh, we are 12 minutes into the show, Will, and Josh is already spitting out detrimental ball knowledge at people.
It's just, I mean, could you be? I felt such a high. What the cornerbacks did was of no concern to me.
Dude,
they scored 6 points.
So I was at the Tundra Trio, and when I tell you I was sprinting around quite a bit yesterday, I'm not exaggerating.
I'm glad I wasn't there.
Our buddy Gabe Neitzel was doing ESPN radio, so we had him in like the corner of the backyard at a table right in front of Lambeau Field. Great backdrop for him. He looked great. But I think I distracted him a few times.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was just sprinting through the yard to go give people high fives every time something happened because we had pulled in different houses. It's very fun.
Yeah.
I was very elated yesterday.
Yeah. That was as much fun as I've had since the Dallas playoff game.
I agree. I think it's the best win they've had in a while. Like regular season win, it reminded me of both the Thanksgiving game in 23 against Detroit and then the December 3rd Kansas City game.
Like those wins that we've mentioned, the Dallas, the Detroit, and Kansas City statement wins.
Yeah.
And yesterday was a giant statement win for the Green Bay Packers.
It sure was. It absolutely was. And you know, I'm so impressed by what happened. So let's get into stock up, stock down, because there's other stuff I want to cover too, and then we'll get to Will's Week in Review and all that good stuff coming up in a bit. Will's Week in Review getting the promotion, if you will, from Wednesdays to Mondays.
Air horn.
Called up like crazy.
There we go.
Shout out to the Neurospine Center.
Shout out to the Neurospine Center. Every time we talk Brewers here on Mr. Relevant, it is presented by the Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. The Brewers are unconditionally relentless. Okay, let's get to a little stock up, stock down. And speaking of promotions, JOSHY DiMaggio is going to join me in the regular season on stock up, stock down. Air horn.
Air horn.
I hate that.
Can we each get air horn buttons?
Just a big red button next to your seat.
I hate this bit, and I know Hunter does too.
I'd like one.
Yeah,
You are aware you have hold on, Will. You have a screen in front of you where you would be capable of playing your own air horn.
Yeah, but imagine like a Staples, like that was easy button that just plays an air horn. So much cooler.
Gonna have to talk to engineering.
I'll work on it.
Will liked that.
Each and every day after a Packers game. We're going to do this twice this week because we'll be able to do it on Friday as well. We'll give you some stocks that are going up trending in the right direction. Some stocks that are going down, trending in the wrong direction. Going to be hard to pick some of those after yesterday's 27-13 win. And again, it was really 27-6 for the Packers over the Lions. Isaac Tesla in the fourth quarter with less than a minute left.
Tesla.
Whatever. Makes one of the best catches you'll ever see.
Sick.
That was an amazing catch by Tesla. But it was really 27-6. Packers smoked the Detroit Lions. Let's do some stock up, stock down. Let's start with stock up. And this goes back to something we said before. Micah Parsons was better than advertised. Stock up for the Packers' newest member of their defense. Micah Parsons, he was terrific. And that moment when he got the sack in the second half was such a great moment at Lambeau Field. So our Tundra Trio houses where I do the pregame show and I hang out during the game, if I don't go to the game, are right outside of Lambeau Field. And that was the loudest I heard Lambeau all day. It was when Micah, I had the door shut in a house and the house vibrated and like shook. It was that loud when Micah got that sack in the third quarter on Jared Goff.
I'm gonna build off what you said there two ways. First, I was elated to see the sideline also with the fans' obvious eruption, to see how fired up all the guys were on the defense for Micah Parsons to get that sack that you're talking about. I mean, to say he's better than advertised, I think is insane to consider when we've talked about, like, you know, the Cowboys were the best defense with him on the field and the worst with him off. And the impact of watching it in and out, the play in and play out the way we did, it felt like a whole different experience. And the other thing, my stock up is the entire defensive line.
Yeah, I do have another note on two specifically.
Yeah, I think all these guys are deserving of praise. I thought Colby Wooden filled in for Kenny Clark in a way that made you not even realize he was gone. The Lions wanted to run up the middle, and they wanted to keep, and they couldn't. And you do need to give a shout out to both Quay Walker, I think, and Adrian Cooper. They played a part.
Cooper was awesome.
Yeah, but that's not even mentioning Rashawn Gary. I think had an incredible game. He looked good. Lucas Van Ness, I thought maybe was the best player on the field, not named Micah Parsons.
I agree with you.
That's how good he was. He was stout. He was in and around making plays and doing what he needs to do. And I think obviously he's benefiting from Micah Parsons' presence.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think he elevated his play a big way in the offseason.
Yeah, so my first two stock ups I wrote as Parsons, and then number two was Wooden and LVN / D-line. Because the Lions, I'm going to say this 100 times a day, the Lions couldn't do anything on offense. That's how dominant the Packers defense, and specifically the defensive line, was yesterday. Colby Wooden with a career day. He had a career high in tackles and tackles for loss. LVN was playing inside and outside, and they were being creative with him. They were utilizing him quite a bit, and I thought he was super effective. He was in the backfield quite a bit. I thought this was one of his, if not his best NFL game.
Also, I love him playing down as a defensive tackle.
Yeah, he did that at Iowa.
He looks the part. And Rob Domofsky earlier today on Jen Gabe and Chewy said he didn't do that a whole lot, even though they talked about him doing that. And I thought it looked like he's supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. And I still think he can be an edge rusher, and I still think he has those abilities. And we'll see as the season goes, because they're going to rotate those guys. It's not, Micah Parsons ain't going to play every play. Rashawn Gary isn't going to play every play. But I think giving him more and more opportunities next to Micah will probably help him evolve.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Let's wrap up stock up, and obviously we could probably throw 80 names here because there was so much good about what happened in stock or in that game in the season opener on Sunday against the Detroit Lions. But the last name that I really wanted to get to is Jordan Love. And I know he didn't have like an earth-shattering performance by any means. He was 16 for 22, 188 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. But why I put him in stock up was because I don't think I'm alone by saying I was a little bit worried about the Jordan Love we were going to see on Sunday. With the offseason thumb procedure, with obviously dealing with all those injuries last year, I just didn't know what version of Jordan Love I was going to get out of the gates. And sure, he avoided disaster. Obviously, a pick 6 got called back for a couple of penalties on the Lions defense. We had a couple balls that you wanted back, whether they were overthrown or whether they were underthrown or whether they went through the hands of a Lions defender. There's a couple throws he wants back. But luckily, he plays mistake-free. No interceptions for Jordan Love on Sunday, and I thought he played well overall. I saw some people getting after him pretty good on the internet. I just didn't really feel the same way after watching Jordan Love. I thought he played a really good game. It's week 1. He hasn't really played real football since, 2 drives against the New York Jets in the first preseason game a month ago. All in all, I thought Jordan Love was good, and I'm going to give him a stock up just because I was a little bit worried about what version of Love I would see in the open.
I think any criticism of Jordan Love right now is a little bit of confirming priors. I think the first throw that Anzalone should have had in the flat, that's inexcusable. I don't know what happened there. It seemed like he short-circuited. The Branch interception, first of all, that was an incredible play by Brian Branch.
And then to get right back up and run it back, yeah.
But then the call was called back. And if you watch the replay, Romeo Doubs is the first read on that play, and he gets that holding call pretty much right away. I think Jordan Love saw that flag. And he realized there was pressure coming and he needed to get rid of the ball. And he ended up throwing it to a guy he thought was safe. He still ended up throwing an interception. Yes. It got called back. So no harm, no foul there. But the way Jordan was in that first half, the comfortability and his body language, he was in total command of the offense. He looked confident and he looked like he knew what was going on. There was a play, and I forgot who tweeted. Oh, it was Nate Tice. I believe he was at Yahoo. But he said to the All-22 where, on the throw to Jaden Reed on 3rd down up the middle, Love changes the protection, stands in a pocket, looks confident, and delivers a strike on a throw that when you see the throw he made was a lot more difficult than it looked on TV. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, is what we wanted to see and we've been waiting to see. And he, at no point was I like, I don't know, is he going to be able to do it? He was bell to bell good.
I thought so too. And Mike agrees with us on that. ESPN Madison on YouTube. He said Jordan did exactly what we need him to do. He doesn't need 300 yards passing. His passes were more consistent than they had been last year. He does need to work on sliding, though. LOL. Yeah, that one slide he had was very awkward.
So I've got friends that skateboard. And we had this one friend who always falls super hard, and Jordan Love has that. Whenever he hits the deck, it's like a car crash.
It looks awkward every time.
Yeah, he just like hits so hard.
Yeah, and I should say, when Mike says he needs to work on sliding, he needs to know how to slide.
Yes.
Because that wasn't even really a slide.
No,
that was more of, I'm going to fall now.
Yeah, he slipped and then went down. But every collision with him seems to be more brutal than it needs to be.
Agreed.
And Aaron Rodgers talked about that. One of his big evolutions was, I think, after the Shea McClellan hit that broke his collarbone, that he like had to learn how to fall and how to protect himself. And I hope Jordan can catch that message before he misses like a significant time due to being hit. Obviously, he missed time and he's had injuries. That's not new to him. But if you can avoid taking those just massive hits he's taken last year included and not fall that way, just protect yourself, man.
Agreed.
Just go out there and protect yourself.
Agreed.
Kenny Mayne with ESPN years ago did a story about the Seahawks using a slip and slide to teach their quarterbacks how to slide properly. I think LaFleur's got to break that out the next practice and teach Love to do that.
What we need is Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy needs to go up there. Remember when RG3 couldn't slide?
Yeah.
And was it Davey Lopes at the time?
I don't even know who that is.
Though it was they brought in the commies brought in the Nationals manager.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I believe maybe a couple players to try and teach RG3 how to slide. He never learned.
He didn't. That's true.
If you want, Matt Eberflus brought a slip and slide to Bears practice last year, and Caleb is pretty good at sliding. So if you're interested in a sliding coordinator, I heard Flus is the guy for that.
He needs to worry about calling defenses.
He needs to worry about being the defensive coordinator of Hunter's Cowboys.
Hey, second most quarterback pressure of any team outside of the Monday night game so far. So
who was first?
Atlanta, like 42%.
Okay.
Packers weren't even top 5 on like total percentage.
Really?
Yeah.
Despite 4 sacks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Interesting. Stats are fun.
I love that all the stats come out before Monday Night Football, too, so then you just can't get factored in. Like if someone's team were to be playing on said Monday night and maybe not living up to the expectations, it would not show up on said graphic.
I'll remind you on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I'll take stock.
How fired up are you for this Bears game tonight?
I'm very nervous. Because, yesterday you kind of just get like a day off of worrying and you get to watch everyone else worry. And then the day comes and you realize, well, there's not like 12 other games for people to watch. There is one game to watch, and it is your team.
All eyes on Caleb.
In the most meaningful week 1 game you've had in a while.
It's true. And after what the Packers... Now I got to know, was that a Hunter air horn or Will horn?
That was a Hunter one because that was super hot fire.
You were what, excuse me?
Spitting super hot fire.
That's a throwback reference.
Wow. Is that Vine?
I think so.
It's YouTube, Vine, social media. It's all the same.
Okay.
Something like that.
You're a strange individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we still in stock up or down?
Oh, yeah. We're still going to go stock down, don't we?
Yep, stock down.
It's all right. It's all right. We got distracted there for a moment. Let's go to stock down. I only have 2 things. Number 1 is O-line health. I think I wrote O-line depth, Hunter, so I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. I meant O-line health. Obviously, Zach Tom and Sean Ryan get dinged up. But, I mean, the offensive line looked fine. I mean, Jordan Love wasn't sacked at all. But
I thought they looked absolutely dominant to start the game.
Yeah, they did to start the game, especially. Yeah.
Jordan Love, I think part of his comfortability and body language was nobody was even making a threat.
No, I think that touchdown pass to Kraft was another good example of that.
He was
right?
just,
yeah.
he seemingly would have had 4 or 5 more seconds if he needed it. But yes, big concern, short week. I don't know how you can't have a little bit of concern. I did think Darian Kennard, the tackle they traded from the Eagles. I mean, he came in and pulled right away and then met a linebacker in the gap to help Josh Jacobs. Like, that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Yeah, for a guy that's only been on the team a couple weeks, you'll take
yeah.
that every day of the week. But yeah, I mean, you've got Jordan Morgan and Sean Ryan rotating in there. So then Morgan was playing right guard, and then Tom comes out. So you've got Darian Kennard in there. The depth isn't necessarily the concern. It's more so the health. Because if those 2 guys aren't playing on Thursday, because again, it's a short week. This is a quick turnaround for the Packers. Come Thursday, and you get sort of a quasi mini bye ahead of the Cleveland game in week 3.
I feel good about Morgan having to play for Aaron Banks. That right tackle still leaves me a little concerned because I think Zach Tom is at special, and the downgrade is either a rookie or a guy who's been on the team for 2 weeks.
And I mean, the good news is, right, like, Morgan's played everywhere. So if he's at left guard, great. He was rotating at right guard. I think I said Sean Ryan at the beginning on accident. I meant Aaron Banks. He was rotating with Sean Ryan at the beginning of the game, but then Aaron Banks went out of the game.
I meant
their
to
off-season
ask,
addition.
Given their druthers and their decision making, would they put Morgan at right tackle and then stop rotating him in at right guard if Banks is healthy?
I'm sorry. I was so thrown off by the use of the word druthers.
We've already done druthers.
What does it mean?
Well, that's a tough one.
I'm asking Will.
Put it back on the list.
Given their choice.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, good job.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like if recall isn't fast enough, we got to put it back on the list.
Yeah.
You clearly haven't learned the word yet if you can't recall it.
My short-term memory doesn't work. I don't know what you guys expected for my long-term memory.
I'm moving on to my stock down. I'm giving a stock down to Matt LaFleur. Hear me out. The fact that the Packers played the way they did, the fans reacted the way they did, and he took time to fix his mouth and talk about the amount of Lions fans that were there. Hey, bro, your team's been losing a lot at home. They've lost 3 times to this Lions team at home. Guess what? Your team ain't making those ticket prices cheaper. You know who pays a lot for tickets and has been a lot? Detroit Lions fans. So maybe you guys should continue to play as well, and people would be more reticent to put them up on the marketplace. Also, Matt LaFleur, you get paid a lot. Do something about it. Start a fund. Have fill those tickets. Pay people off.
Is that legal?
I'm sure it is. You can buy tickets.
Okay.
Players do. If they pass their allotment, they just pay for them like anyone else.
Okay.
His amount of lip service and attention he gives to what's happening in the stands.
That's true.
Hey, buddy, learn how to throw a challenge flag. Learn time management first. You'll get there eventually. We'll worry about the stands when you've got everything on the field under control.
No mentions of the wave yesterday, I don't believe.
No, but he did. The fans that were here were great. The people who sold their tickets got to do better.
You don't need to paraphrase. We have the audio. Here's Matt LaFleur talking about this after the game, after the Packers' 27-13 win over the Lions.
But all in all, I was really happy with our performance. I thought the fans that showed up brought great energy, and the fans that sold their tickets to all those Lions fans got to be better.
Got to be better. I agree with him. Honolulu Blue galore, dude. I was there. There were so many Lions fans.
Hey, you can't make Green Bay a destination. You can't build up the pomp and circumstance about it and then expect opposing fans not to show up.
No, I agree with that.
And you can't expect
that
people,
level?
You can't expect people who have to pay a $900 seat fee to get their season tickets, and then you charge them at minimum like $130 for a ticket, and not expect some people to go, hey, financially, this, I don't know if you know this, but the minimum wage hasn't raised and wages are flat in America.
There we go.
And tickets keep getting more expensive. So there's probably a connection to be made somewhere along the lines.
You should run for public office.
I don't want that.
I also think on this
America
ticket conversation, people forget that Green Bay is closer to the state of Michigan than it is to Madison or Milwaukee. It's two biggest cities of the state.
That's a good point.
Like, there are fans literally right
there.
there. It is easier for them to go to a game in Green Bay than it is to go to Detroit because of all of the fans that are in the UP. Like, yeah, they're going to do that. That's why I know tons of people that make the trip to Wisconsin-Minnesota games when they play in Minnesota instead of driving from Eau Claire down to Madison, because that's an easier drive for them. This happens in all of sports. Matt LaFleur is the only one that's obsessed with it.
He's not the only one, but he certainly is obsessed with it. And I'm not saying he's not obsessed with it, because he is obsessed with it. I agree with you. I just don't think he's the only one obsessed with it. Because I do think, and your point on the UP is correct, and it's the same point I made on Green Bay game day yesterday, but it still does bother me that it's more Lions fans than any other team the last few years.
Given my druthers, I would love it for it to be only Packers fans. That's not realistic, and I think there's a confluence of factors. The Lions being good is one, because when the Lions couldn't win, were an 0-16 team, guess what their fans weren't doing? Traveling.
That's true. That's true.
So the Packers level coming down and the Bears, the Lions elevating balances the scales.
I guess the thing that surprises me, and maybe LaFleur as well, is it's not like the Packers are a bad team, right?
No.
And this typically happens for bad teams. Like last year, you guys remember I was out in Nashville for the Titans and Packers game.
Yes.
That stadium was full of Packers fans. And
We celebrate when we do it to other teams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to do it in a few weeks in Cleveland, might add. And I would just say this also. I think that Dallas game in 3 weeks, Sunday Night Football, I think that's going to be a lot of Packers fans too. So
Probably.
It's going to be true. See everybody chiming in on YouTube. Appreciate you.
That's
over
when
about
I was
100
getting fired up.
Yeah, I know. About 140 with you rocking with us between ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison. Thanks for being here on this Victory Monday for the Packers after a 27-13 win over the Detroit Lions. Alex Strouf, Josh DiMaggio, Will Sommers, Hunter Vaughn with you on this Monday afternoon. I've got one final stock down for you.
Chris Brooks.
No, I would never do that to my guy.
Third down run.
I don't know what we were doing there, to be real honest with you. Don't know
Got
what we were
too
doing
cute.
there. But no, my side down is not for Chris Brooks. It's actually not for anything real. It is for the Packers can't beat good teams narrative. Wow. Bye-bye. It was fun while it lasted. See you later. As the Packers go 0-6 last year to the Eagles, Lions, and Vikings, obviously the three winningest teams in the NFC. The Packers now 1-0 in the NFC North. They're 1-0 against the Lions and 1-0 overall in the 2025 season. And not only do they beat Detroit, they smoke Detroit. So the narrative that the Packers can't beat bad teams, sure, it was fun while it lasted for opposing fans. What I say, bad teams? Well, they can beat bad teams. They did a lot of that last year. They can't beat good teams. That narrative is dead and done and gone with and 6 feet deep, because we are not talking about that anymore. The expectation is no longer, well, I really hope they show up in the games against good teams. The expectation is now, oh, they can beat the ass of good teams, because that's what they did on Sunday, and that is a fun way to start the year. Don't overreact too much to week one.
I do want to put this out there. There is a chance that if the Packers lose on Thursday, and then when they face the Eagles, if they have 2 losses and maybe the Lions lose one or two more, that narrative's coming back. You got to win. You got to win one of those next.
Joshy, I'm not going to overreact to week 1 here. Okay, when I say this, I'm not overreacting to week 1.
Don't overreact too much to week 1.
What if the Lions aren't very good anymore?
Oh, they are.
What if
stop? Hold on. Wait. Let me finish my sentence.
You're taking too long.
I'm not going to overreact to week 1 when I say this.
Okay.
Don't overreact too much to week 1
much this year. The Packers aren't losing very many
How many
games.
times? 4?
That might be high.
Don't overreact too much to week 1.
Maybe 3. Probably 2, though.
14-3, that'd be sick.
I mean,
Buying the first round would be nice.
We watched the same game yesterday, right?
I saw it. I seen it. My sock down, and this is another one of my pet project things I talk about every season. NFL officiating, that call on Xavier McKinney.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know why the league emphasizes it, but I hate that it's an emphasis for about 4 weeks.
Correct, because it'll go away.
4 might be a little aggressive, because when the stakes continue to rise for games, and they mean more and more as the regular season continues, tell you what they're not going to do is give 15 yards in that situation for a guy standing over someone. Would I prefer all the players not do that? But it's a physical game. You have to be ramped up to be out there, and standing over a guy you just laid out is certainly not the worst thing to do to them.
Nope.
Would I prefer if high schoolers didn't do that? Yes. Please stop doing that. That's bad.
I prefer if high schoolers stop doing that. Yes, I would.
But it's just the emphasis thing and the disappearing act of it just annoys me so much, because it's like this big message initiative, but then it entirely disappears. And it will affect, and then randomly, we always see this, where it like pops up in week 16 in a big moment. Yeah. You're like, well, where has this been the past 12 weeks? It's just, I think the NFL is hustling backwards when it comes to that.
Well, okay, so we obviously had a lot of instances of this, but no bigger than Thursday night,
right?
When Jalen Carter was kicked out of the game right away.
Deservedly so.
Deservedly so. However, I want to go to Hunter on this, the Cowboys fan. Hunter, did Dak Prescott spit first?
He did spit at the ground like 6 feet away from Jalen Carter.
Spit in his general direction?
And then he smiled? And as he was jaw-jacking him?
Because he was trying to intimidate their rookie guard. Dak's just a great teammate and was sticking up for his guy.
There you go.
Just being like, okay, man, like, you're not going to intimidate my teammate. I'm going to talk back to you. And then Jalen Carter, poor decision maker, by the way, history of that, 130 miles per hour bad. He chose to then spit on Dak Prescott. So I think the scale of the two spits, very different.
The scale of the two spits.
Yeah.
It is the tale of two cities. The scale of different spits.
I did also, Josh, you mentioned this about high schoolers doing a lot of the taunting and that stuff. From covering high school football here in the Madison area, that is something I've noticed. I've been covering high school sports for about 12 years now, and it has been getting worse with the number of kids doing like the nose wipe thing, standing over guys after big hits. So I get the NFL probably got lobbied by some high school organizations to, hey, can you help us out with this a little bit? But you're right. They either need to completely get rid of it and be consistent or not do this garbage, because the Xavier McKinney was bad.
Yeah, and the real issue there is the coaches and the parents.
Yes.
If you see your kid doing that, standing over a kid they just probably gave a concussion to.
Brandishing weapons.
Yeah, let's not do that. The thought of doing that when I played high school football was, if you celebrated too much, a spike of the ball.
Did you just ignore him there?
Yeah, brandishing weapons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Making sure on
the thought of doing that, and I'm not that old. I'm old. Not that old. The thought of doing that when we were playing high school is preposterous.
We're coming up on our 20-year reunion.
If somebody, yes. If somebody did a nose wipe, you'd never see the field again.
On Saturday, it was my mom's 40th high school reunion.
Shout out to her.
I popped in with the planning committee. Had a beer on my way to Green Bay.
Why?
Because my mom wanted to see me, and I was going through the area. And so there were 6 58-year-old women.
Uh-huh.
Boy, was I a hit. They loved me. I walked in, I had one beer, I was making jokes, cracking jokes.
Were they like pinching your cheeks? Like, look at our little Alex.
No cheek pinching, but I was making jokes, and they just couldn't get enough of me.
You probably didn't even want to leave.
No, I did want to leave, but
no, you didn't.
I mean,
'cause
then they started making.
You love attention.
No, because then they started getting set up, and they were like, "Oh, we've got a strong boy." Who, by the way, I'm not strong, but they called me a strong boy, and they had me carrying boxes and stuff. And then I was like, "All right, guys, I got to go. See ya." But boy, I ruled for 30 minutes with the 58-year-olds.
Worse one from Alex Strouf here. Friday's Twitter this time of year is my time to shine, or I ruled with a bunch of 50-year-old women.
58.
I'd
58-year-old.
rather,
sorry.
Hunter, you go through all of your fantasy lineups and tell me what happened in each of the players than him bragging about 6-year-old women flirting.
Yeah,
with him.
Josh, tell me 9 holes that you played and describe every single shot.
I mean, that was unbelievable. When did you realize that you were doing a show for yourself to brag about women thinking, old women, sorry, apologies to your mom, older women thinking you were attractive?
I like how
I never said they said I was attractive.
That's what you were hinting.
You
They
were.
thought I was
That's
funny.
what you're
You
hinting
were.
at.
They thought I was funny.
the transition too was Josh talking about when he was in high school and he just goes, "Oh, you're coming up on your reunion," just to bring that up.
Yes.
That actually wasn't why I brought it up. It just popped in my head when I
You
mentioned it.
found a way in.
I got to give him credit. That was a crazy way in.
Well, I had a great weekend. Josh, how was your weekend?
It's wonderful.
Hunter, how about you? How was your weekend, Hunter?
It was good, sans the first half of the Badger football game. I've never been more disgusted to be a Badger fan,
That was rough.
yeah,
All
watching
right.
the assistant coaches, by the way, have to give a motivational speech to your team in the first quarter against Middle Tennessee. That's bad.
There's a payoff coming, but we got a little sidetracked. Hey, Will, how was your weekend?
I've had better weekends.
Yeah, why's that?
Well, on Saturday afternoon, I had a great day. I was having a great day. I didn't move from the couch for about 6 hours. I was watching college football. About halfway through the second pretty good slate of games when my roommate came up to me and said, "Hey, why is there a 9mm bullet in your driver's seat chair?" And I said, "Are you joking? Like, what's going on?" I thought he was playing a prank on me. He took him like 15 minutes of convincing me that it was actually there to go down there. When I came to the realization when I got to my car that my car had been broken into, and nothing was taken. This might be the first ever car break-in where more was left than taken.
I warned you of this. I said, I believe I told Will, said your car is going to get broken into. Just make sure there's nothing valuable in it.
There's not.
2, I forgot my second point.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, 2, I've had the same exact thing happen.
Where they left a bullet?
There was no bullet left behind, but because I had nothing in there, they found a leftover soda I had and shook it up and sprayed it all over. In my car, to this day, the panel that does the air and heat sticks, and I can't get it to stop.
Okay.
This happened nearly a decade ago.
Here's the thing, Joshy. That was just one part of Will's weekend.
Oh.
I got a phone call from Will at 10:30 p.m. last night. And he said,
Yeah, so yesterday I was here. I was doing our Green Bay pregame and postgame shows.
There.
worse.
I got here at about 10:30. I was heading out about 10:30 p.m.
I forgot your keys.
And I went to the bathroom. And I guess the door handle in the bathroom has been a little janky recently. And at 10 o'clock p.m. on a Sunday, after being here for 12 hours, I was locked in the bathroom.
So he calls me and he says, "Hey, are you home?" Because I live close to the station. He calls me and says, "Hey, are you home?" And I said, "No, I'm still on the road, dude. What's up?" And he goes, I'm currently laying on the table in which fathers can change their babies' diapers in a bathroom because I can't get out."
Which bathroom were you in?
The one upstairs.
That one?
Hunter, I'm emailing you a photo of Will Sommers laying on.
I want no judgment for how I'm laying in this picture. I was very tired, and I wanted to lay down.
But it was truly an unbelievable
how did you get
Run of
removed?
events.
Because there is security 24/7.
I sent him the number. He had the number or
Yeah,
whatever.
I called the
Yeah.
security. They eventually came and let me out. But
How long were you in there after you called security?
like 10 minutes. I think they had trouble.
So how long do you think you were in that bathroom, do you estimate?
15 minutes. But with the day I had, with how long I was here, it felt like forever.
Of note, were you upstairs at your desk doing work after the show?
I had to record some recaps and stuff down here.
So
Oh
did
my
you
God,
walk
I just
past
saw the
these
photo.
bathrooms?
This is
Yeah,
this
I
is going to
walked
be incredible.
I walked past the bathrooms down here. Figured I'd just hit the one on the way out, get some extra steps in maybe. He was sitting for a lot of the day, so
You would have walked
I
those
don't-
steps regardless.
And now,
I didn't think this was going to be the way I got blamed for this.
in a national television game tonight, Will's favorite team, the Chicago Bears, have the opportunity to embarrass themselves to J.J. McCarthy. So that could just put the perfect bow on Will's weekend. And there you go on the video stream. Here's the picture Will sent me of him laying on the baby table.
It looks like you're about to get wiped. It looks like your parents about to wipe your behind.
I was losing it. I was starting to lose it.
So all that.
It's either that or like you're surfing.
And also, since we're all just ragging on me, I would like to also add the way my car got broken into is I just left the door unlocked. No forced entry whatsoever.
Yeah, Hey, when I got broken into, same exact thing. I walked up to my door, nothing was damaged, and it said, I have friends who have a propensity to get their car broken into a lot. They resorted to, because they were so sick of getting their window smashed out, they just left their car unlocked.
So all that to be said, because it is now Will's time to shine. On a Monday, he runs us through the NFL weekend, the Packers weekend, and all the in-betweens.
This is a big moment here, Will.
Will's weekend in review on a Monday, Mr. Irrelevant.
Music, Hunter. There it is. The Lions came to Lambeau Field to take on the Packers in an NFC North battle to begin the NFL season. The green and gold got the ball first, and Matt LaFleur's offensive plays were dough as the Packers offense made the Lions defense look elementary. A 12-play, 83-yard drive had Jordan Love's finger painting all over it as he found Kraft for a touchdown. The Lions went 3 and out, and on their first drive, and Jaden Creed said, "I can take you higher."
Nice.
As he caught a 26-yard pass to put the Packers in a place where blind McManuses see. As Brandon ended a 34-yard field goal, Packers up 10-0.
This sounds like it's really hurting your voice.
The Lions would answer with a field goal of their own, but on the ensuing drive, Jordan Love saddled up and found Rodeo Dobbs bursting out of the chute and wrangling in a 48-yard pass. On the very next play, the Packers looked like a shirt JOSHY would wear that says "Love to Read," as Jordan found Jaden for a 17-yard touchdown.
So good.
The Lions
so good.
were putting together a promising drive at the end of the half. But then it wasn't. But even though it wasn't on the injury report, the brisk fall weather caused Evan Williams to catch a Goff as he would pick off Jared to limit the Lions to 3 points at the half. Packers fans have been waiting for this guy to hatch from his egg as Lucas Van Ness sacks Jared Goff on 3rd down to force a punt in the 3rd quarter. Josh Jacobs Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Sing it.
His name is my name too. Whenever we go out, the people always shout, saying Josh Jacobs Jingleheimer Schmidt. 9 consecutive games with a touchdown after running it in from 3 yards in the 4th quarter to make it 24-6 Pack. Up 27-6 late in the 4th quarter, the Packers defense still smelt blood in the water as Micah Parsons said da-da, 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 as he chased down Jared Goff for his first sack as a Packer. Later in the drive for the Lions, no one told Isaac that Teslas are hands-free as he made a nasty one-handed catch for the Lions to give them their lone touchdown for the day, as Jordan Love would kneel it out to hit the under on his rushing yards and give the Packers a 27-13 win. With your Will's weekend recap, I'm Will Sommers.
All right, couple of things. Love to read Josh's shirt. It's the best line you've ever had in one of these. It's the best line you've ever had. That was
I actually own a
terrific.
shirt that says that.
And for you, it's like ironic.
Yeah,
Well, it says funny, comma, athletic, comma, loves to read.
that's a great
So
shirt.
I'm 2 for
Oh,
3.
gotcha.
Depends on the day. Number 2, I don't think you need to do that voice. It sounds like you were in pain.
I was trying to make it a little more intense.
I think it worked.
I think it worked too,
Yeah.
but I don't want you to get hurt back
I just
there.
don't. Okay, I don't want to be monotone, but I'm willing to sacrifice some injuries for the betterment of the program.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
I've had this thought before. It's the first time I'm going to share it.
I'm incredibly nervous on where this is headed.
Do we think, and I don't know how much time Will typically has in a morning, he would be better served with a recording? Because it's a difficult thing to make all these inferences and say words that aren't really words, but are combined to make words we understand, and just record it and then play it for us. Do we think the execution, because I think it's great. I think he does a great job. It's clever, but it's difficult to do that.
Good point.
I am pretty consistently lightheaded after these.
We could save you that, and then you could just, hey, I didn't like how that line came out. Let's do it over.
Josh Jacobs, Jingleheimer Schmidt. Very good.
I mean, or part of the joy of this is seeing how far Will can make it until he cracks and he stumbles on something and then tries to recover. Like, that's part of the joy, is the mistakes.
Brandon chimes in. Chris Berman has been reincarnated. I don't think he's dead, though. He's definitely not dead, actually. I know he's not dead.
I think I saw him on TV
Say
yesterday.
he was on TV last night.
Chef Ed says, you guys need to lock Will in the bathroom again. Don't ever let him use that voice.
I liked it.
Mr. 36 says, this is awesome. Great job, Will.
My guy.
He's air horn drunk.
He's been air horn drunk.
We've got every time that air horn sounds, his ego inflates a little bit. Just like a tire pump.
Yep. All right, time now for what we missed and what we learned. It is presented by Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in Door County. They're the best. Whiskeys, rums, gins, vodkas, brandies, all the in-betweens, whatever you need for your old fashions, for any of your cocktails, for your tailgates, for your parties, whatever you got going on the upcoming weekends. Door County Distillery will help elevate whatever you've got going on. I personally love their bourbon. That's my favorite, but their single malt whiskey and their cherry brandy are the two best for your old fashions. Whether you're a brandy person or a whiskey person, both of them, they've got you covered. They're award-winning, multiple-time award-winning. The cherry brandy infused with local Door County cherries. It's the best. Check out their website, doorcountydistillery.com. Find the retailer nearest you, as well as a huge list of unique cocktail recipes. Thomas just chimes in, Will's singing is terrible. Please stop.
Can you take me?
Couple things we missed over the weekend. Number one, it was awesome to be back in Green Bay for Green Bay Game Day yesterday, which, of course, is our pregame show, about 3 hours or so before every Green Bay game. It was a 12 o'clock start for a 3:25 game yesterday. It will be a 4 o'clock start for a 7:15 game on Thursday, live from the Tundra Trail just outside of Lambeau Field. But we got to give credit to our guy, Dusty in Texas. Dusty in Texas, who called into our show when we did the Friday show the day after Micah Parsons was traded. And I called him my Texas correspondent, and we asked him questions about living in Dallas. He showed up to the fence at the Tundra Trio, just outside of our broadcast trailer, with a paper sign. It was like a cardboard piece of paper that said, "Media, Mr. Irrelevant Texas Correspondent." And he flashed it to me while I was on there. It was awesome. I got to go over there and talk to Dusty for a little bit before he headed into the game. But thanks to Dusty for stopping by and making me smile. He took his role seriously. He tried to make his own credential and everything. It was very good. It's very good by Dusty. But the MIA, as Will has dubbed it, we're out in droves yesterday in Green Bay. Love seeing the support. I love everybody popping by and saying they like listening to the show. And they don't really like Will that much, but they allow him to be on the panel. Yeah, only a few people said that. But all in all, it was a really great day in Green Bay. So that is one thing I wanted to mention. And Dusty's sign just made my day. So I wanted to mention that. A couple other things we haven't mentioned. We haven't talked about Josh Jacobs at all. But I just want to say he is so reliable and consistent, and like, you know what you're going to get.
I thought he looked bad in the first half, and it seems like he goes with the more action he gets and his lack of he looked indecisive to start, but then to end the game, it felt very reminiscent to what we got very accustomed to last year. And I think he's probably one of those guys that probably needs to get popped a few times to get going. Yeah. Because he seems to thrive off of contact and pushing people and moving the pile and doing all that. So, I mean, he's great. He's going to be very important. I was encouraged that in neutral passing situations, the Packers weren't one of the run heaviest teams in the NFL yesterday. I hope that carries out.
Yeah.
Because I think he's best as a complement rather than the entirety of the offense.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. But I mean, they ran the offense through him, I would argue, more last year.
Right. And I didn't think the offense was that good.
That's true. They were super inconsistent.
Right.
Despite him not being inconsistent, because
Correct.
as Will just mentioned, I think he broke the franchise record yesterday for 9 straight games scoring a touchdown. So
Jim Nantz really wanted us to know that.
yes, he did. He sure did. Yeah, I caught that as well. Yeah. So Josh Jacobs, number one, a franchise record is always pretty cool when it happens. So congratulations to him. But also, like, again, I tend to agree with you. I don't think the first half was the strongest, but I think you know what you're getting out of him. And I don't think he ever really wavers under what the expectation goes for.
I mean, and it's a luxury, but he's almost an afterthought.
Yeah.
In terms of he's going to go out there, he's going to make some big plays, he's going to be a solid contributor, and he's going to help you win games. And I don't think anything has changed from last year.
Yeah.
Are we going to discuss the whole Mike Silver?
We've got 3 minutes left if you think you can summarize it. But yeah, go ahead. Effectively, it was the Packers board doesn't want them to make big trades.
Yes. This was a thing that used to happen prior to the Kevin Harlan, not the right Bob Harlan. Yes, Bob Harlan, Ron Wolf era, where the board had a lot of say in personnel decisions. That stopped during the Ron and Harlan era. And some have pointed to that being a big portion of why the 70s and 80s were so bad, and things improved in Green Bay. It seems like, and based on Mike Silver's reporting in The Athletic, that something changed quietly in the Mark Murphy era, and probably when the silos things got decided when Goody and Matt LaFleur came to town, that the board now has say over trades or has influence on those, because he wrote a big long dissertation that was basically like Ed Policy convinced the board to make the trade, and then also said the reason the trade didn't happen for Khalil Mack in 2018 was because it did not have the board's approval. I think that is a big concern, and I think something that would be a detriment. And when you look at some things that have happened in Green Bay in the past 10 or so years, you could start to point to questionable things or things that didn't happen that seemed like maybe they could have gotten spiked and they could have had influence on. And I found that very interesting.
Yeah. The good news is they pulled it off regardless of what
they did. Yes. We have to, in Ed Policy, if the reporting is accurate, if this isn't basically a story being spun to get Ed Policy positive PR.
Yes.
But yes.
I think that's what it is ultimately, right?
Yes.
It's a staffer, because it said, I think it was like a member of the front office said this.
Yes.
And yes, that's what it seems to me is, hey, Ed Policy's doing a good job over there. I think what Austin points out also, it is dating back to the 1990s, but when Ron Wolf sent a first-round pick to Atlanta for a eventual Hall of Fame quarterback named Brett Favre, Austin says that proved the board can kiss it.
Yeah, I believe, and Jason would know better, and I'm trying to pull from my memory here, but I believe the message got sent for the Reggie White deal, and that's where things really changed. I believe they said, Bob told the board, we can't prove this guy and tell this guy we trust him and we believe in him, and then not allow him to make these decisions, which at the time, Reggie White was the highest paid player for a defensive end, like in NFL history.
Yeah. Huh. Well, whatever.
Yeah, I would have liked to have Khalil Mack 2018.
Yes, but I don't know if I don't think Micah Parsons is here if that's the case.
I don't know.
I don't.
Do they have a Super Bowl?
That's a different conversation.
Correct.
They very much. Well, 2018 ended up not being a good year.
Right, but you have them 19, 20.
Yeah. Well, how good was he in 19?
Not as dominant as 2018, but he was still good. It was just that the Bears didn't have the right quarterback. Like he was still one of the premier pass rushers.
I'm
in the
pretty sure
NFL.
he was pretty good until like 21.
Yeah, 21 he started to fall off.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't happen with Micah Parsons. I hope he plays more than 29 snaps and he's as impactful as he was yesterday. But what a terrific debut, seriously, yesterday for the Packers in 2025 season. An amazing debut for Micah Parsons. Some good moments for Matthew Golden, but actually not as efficient as I thought he would be. But 10 pass catchers on 16 completions for Jordan Love is an impressive number. He was spreading the ball around. I thought Romeo Doubs had a really nice day in terms of pass catchers. Matthew Golden's just getting started, though, and he was out there quite a bit, which was good to see.
Second most snaps at the wide receiver position. We did see quite a bit of Dontavian Wicks as well. Jaden Reed, he was limping like 4 days ago.
Yeah, and then he was running all over. He's returning punts again. Yeah,
Toradol's amazing, guys. Don't know if that's actually what it was, but by the way, just saying, Toradol.
Xavier Williams also got a touch, which was that guy at camp?
Barely. But I like him, man. I'm excited to see what both of these rookie
I
lineups
like
are
him
capable
in that
of.
spot because I like Jaden Reed more as a wide receiver.
And Edgerrin Cooper, all pro season, is clearly loading. Led the game in tackles, had 12 tackles, 8 of them solo.
He's his dog.
He's a dog, and he's going to have a really good second year. So all really impressive stuff.
I do think this game was a little weird, and I don't think the Packers expected to be this ahead and in control of the game. I'm not discouraged, and I'm not stepping off of Matthew Golden 1,000-yard season. I just want that on the record.
Okay. He's got 16 games left to do it, and he's got 984 yards to go. Had 2 catches for 16 yards yesterday. Okay. That does it for us today. Just a quick update, though, before we get to Will's review of words.
Yeah, I have a word.
Okay, we'll get to your word in a second. I just want to update everybody on where our picks stand after the first week. So we picked the Packers game, and we picked an underdog.
Don't look at me. I wasn't the only one to lose.
Me and Joshy both 2-0. Nice job. You missed.
I didn't actually think I was going to high-five you.
Okay. Me and Joshy both 2-0.
Ball Norse.
Will, got the Packers game right.
Yeah, I didn't know Aaron Rodgers was going to turn into prime Aaron Rodgers.
You picked the Jets as your underdog. That was incorrect. And Hunter picked the Lions, but he did get his underdog pick, which was the same as Joshy's, the Raiders.
I didn't expect to go first. I panicked and was just like, the Lions are really talented. The Packers aren't good week 1. No, I'm just giving you where I was at mentally.
Hey, hold on. I'm giving us all credit. Nobody went 0 for 2. Everybody started the season with a win. Everybody started the season with a win. Nobody's 0-2. Nobody's looking to snap in week 2. So that's a good start. All right, Will, your word.
Yeah, Josh, this was actually maybe the most absurd poll he's had so far. He said the Konami code, which is a famous series of inputs that grants a player an advantage in some video games, such as 30 lives in the NES game Contra. Now, Josh, do you know the code?
I do not know the code. I know the reference as it's sort of the piece that unlocks.
Hunter, take a stab at it.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, A, B.
Close. It's up, down, left, right, BA, start.
I mean, he's pretty close.
It's crazy.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, just wanted to point out that was an absurd reference.
That is an absurd reference.
It's like the guy
that went right over my head.
guy that has the tattoo for like the unlimited lives in Grand Theft Auto.
Well, hey, it looked like the Packers had the Konami code yesterday with the 27-13 win over the Lions. We will preview Packers Commanders
You
Wednesday.
guys are so blessed to be a brain like mine in this program.
Totally agree. Love having you around.
And you're blessed to have me to point it out.
Thank you, Will.
It's a good point. You did call him the GOAT before the show. You stand by that?
Yeah. I would have said it even more effusive had I known he got locked in a bathroom at 10:30 p.m.
We'll talk to you on Wednesday beginning at 12:30 Central. You can find us Apple Podcast, Spotify, the ESPN Wisconsin app if you missed any of the show on the audio side. Appreciate you hanging with us. So good to have football season back. So good to have the Packers back and 1-0. Enjoying Vikings Bears tonight. We will talk to you on Wednesday at a Packers Commanders. Peace.